All right, in a minute, we're going to talk about President Donald Trump's visit with Palestinian leader Mahmoud Abbas on May 3rd, and then we'll also talk about his visit to Israel and other Middle East countries, but particularly to Israel in the latter part of May. But first, I want to share some headlines that I received, and number one is that it looks like Germany is behind the hostile UNSCO or UNESCO resolution. So don't think for a second that Germany is a friend of Israel. They may stand with them in some things, but the bottom line is that there's still a lot of hostility regarding what happened in World War II. And here's another article that indicates that Egypt urges U.S. to play active Mideast peace role. And Jordan is saying that if the Arabs would give Israel security guarantees under a peace deal. So the Arab League is doing what they can in order to bring the peace proposal back to life. But frankly, it's really the other way around. It's Israel that's giving peace securities to the Arab League because they're all terrified of Iran and what they could ultimately come up with in their nuclear endeavors, and that's really the bottom line. But here's something that may bring Turkey closer to Russia, and that future partnership that will come down upon Israel. And this article states that U.S. Marines in Syria will defend or are defending Kurds against Turkey. And lastly, here's the last article. It says that Arab media reports Israeli strike on Syrian army near border. You know, I don't know what's going to bring down this major confrontation that is described in the Bible, Ezekiel 38 and 39, the Gog and Magog war. But the bottom line is that Russia and Syria, Hezbollah, Iran, and maybe even Turkey in the future will be coming down upon Israel, and it will be on the border. And right now, Israel is fighting off smaller pockets of resistance that seem to be popping up on its border. And like I said, I don't know what's going to bring it down, but the Bible says that a hook will be placed upon Gog and Magog's mouth, and particularly Russia, that will be so strong that they won't be able to resist it. So whatever it is that brings Russia and their allies down upon Israel, it will be too much to resist. Yes, and there is one more article that I wanted to talk about, and it says U.S. warships at Kim doorstep. Now, whether or not there will be a war between the United States and their allies and North Korea, that is still yet to be seen, as long as it's believed that it's very possible that the United States is hacking North Korean missiles so that once they begin their test, that they have been exploding almost immediately. Now, whether or not it's true that the United States is behind that is unknown, but it seems to be untimely, seemingly every time. Now, as I stated earlier, that Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas is going to be coming and visiting the White House come May 3rd. And certainly, I assume the number one topic will be the peace process. So once that meeting has taken place, President Trump will then fly to Israel, and it's being reported it's going to be around the May 22nd, 23rd time period. And that just so happens to be Jerusalem Day, or in the vicinity of. Actually, Jerusalem Day is on May 23rd. But there have been some newspaper rumors that during that time he's there, that he's going to declare Jerusalem as the undivided capital of Israel, and that he's also going to move the U.S. Embassy, which is in Tel Aviv at this moment, to Jerusalem. Now, certainly I'm not going to rule either one of those things out, because that certainly could happen, but according to some sources, military sources that I follow, neither the Arab world nor Israeli leadership wants that to take place. And what I mean, neither one of them want the embassy at this time to be moved from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, because of the fact that there could be some immediate uproar, and demonstrations, and problems that would occur. So Israel really isn't all that excited at this time for that to take place. Now, certainly they would love to be able to have the U.S. Embassy moved from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, but they feel the cost at this time is not there. But we'll see if they've had a change of heart, and if that is the case come May 22nd, May 23rd. But it looks to be everybody, including the Arab world and the Israeli leadership, are calling for the Trump administration to get more involved. Of course, former Prime Minister of the UK, Tony Blair has asked to get involved, and I believe that they're going to accept his proposal. Now, how big a part he will play is unknown. Jared Kushner, President Trump's son-in-law, who has multiple inroads into Israeli leadership, is likely to be the person who will head up this push for peace. And I'd like to see him start addressing that more publicly. Right now, we know that there are things that are going on behind the scenes and have been for several months. But we don't know what the progress is. We don't know what the possibility that this peace could be sooner than later. And, you know, President Trump, he just got through saying that there's absolutely no reason why peace cannot be established under the present terms right now. And frankly, he almost said he was shocked that it hasn't been established up to this point, because there's really nothing standing in the way. And that, according to, as I said, U.S. President Donald Trump. So he considers this to be the ultimate deal, and I believe that he will attempt to make this peace process his own. But one thing we need to remember is this right here, is that the Bible does state in Daniel 9:25-27 that the Antichrist, or the person who will bring the peace, will come out of what used to be the Roman Empire, and that today is known as the European Union. And as you know, the fate of the European Union could be resting in France's hands in a very short amount of time. Their elections are coming up in the early part of May as well. And if Ms. Le Pen has anything to do with it, and she does win, and she's closing the gap in the polls from what I hear, she will set the stage for France to leave the European Union and to adopt the franc again, dropping the euro. And the final blow would come if, in fact, Germany were to elect a nationalist-type leader. They also would get out of the European Union and drop the euro. So there's a lot at stake over the next few months and also before the end of the year. But these are some items that I definitely keep my eye on and make sure that I stay up to date on, because they will all help form what will take place in the last days during the tribulation period. And, you know, one thing that I kind of worries me is that there are a lot of things under the Trump administration that are going on behind the scenes that we simply don't know anything about. And for Donald Trump to come out and say that he can't, for the life of him, understand why peace has not been established as of yet, may be indicating that he thinks he has a handle on this situation and that peace could be sooner than later. But again, that's speculation on my part. I am not in the know on what's going on behind the scenes. But the minute I do find out any information that could lead to details of a peace accord, I will share them with you. And if you don't know the Lord, today is a day of salvation. Don't put it off. It's appointed unto man once to die, then the judgment. The Bible says that one day we will all face God. And when we do, the only way that we're going to go to heaven is through Jesus. If you have not come to the Lord as of yet to ask him to save you, you need to do that as quickly as possible. And you Christians, you need to get a copy of my Tribulation Period Survival Guide. There's a free version, which is written in 9 different languages, and there's also a paid version. Of course, I am partial to the paid version because that is the paperback version that you can actually hand your lost loved one. And I would frankly look at this as an investment. I wouldn't just buy one copy. I'd buy multiple copies for people that I know are not going to make it when the rapture takes place. I would recommend that you get multiple copies and give them out as quickly as possible. Not only will this give them a good understanding of what will take place in the tribulation period, give them tribulation period survival tips, but we'll also tell them that they need to come to the Lord as soon as possible. Who knows, they may get saved before the rapture takes place. So I would recommend that you get this book as quickly as possible and get it in their hands. Don't leave it to the world to tell them what they must do after the rapture takes place, because you know what they're going to tell them. Well, this is Terry Malone with the Calvary Prophecy Report.